Hello, Internet. My name is JD, coming at you with my second Disgruntled Redskins Fan video. My last video, maybe I didn't make myself clear. Um, I don't, not that I don't like Kirk Cousins. Don't get me wrong. He's better quarterback than we've had in a while. There's just things that people ignore about him, and that is my issue mainly. And that's what I'm going to be getting into this video. To reiterate, I blame Kirk Cousins for our season not doing so hot. I gotta turn that off real quick. Okay. I blame our quarterback for our season not doing so hot. Okay. Our season wasn't very good this year. 8-7-1. It's not a good season. And I give him 85% of the blame. 10% of the blame goes to coaching, 5% to defense. Everyone and their mother thinks that our defense was the problem. Everyone but Kirk Cousins was apparently a problem. Okay, well, first off, I'm going to say this right now. The offense was projected to be a top 5 offense when it comes to scoring, yardage, everything. It's projected to be top 5 offense. And if you're not in those top 5, someone gets the blame for that. Okay? So here's basically what I'm going to say. And our defense was not projected to do very well. It wasn't a top 10 defense. It was like in the middle of the pack, which is about where they landed. Kirk Cousins, the offense we got a 4,948 yards passing and 1,700 yards rushing. Okay, that is the makings of an elite offense. Okay, when it comes to yardage. But here's the problem: is our red zone efficiency. Our red zone efficiency as a team, we were 30th in red zone efficiency, but be only ahead of Jets and Texans. We were only ahead of the Jets and the Texans when it comes to red zone efficiency. Okay. We were also 17th in scoring efficiency, which is not good for a defense or an offense that's supposed to be top 5. And the reason why Kirk Cousins gets the blame is because he is Captain Kirk. He is at the head of the offense. He is responsible. That is his responsibility to execute the offense. Okay? If he would have averaged 28 to 30 points a game this year, we would not be having this discussion. Okay? The defense not being able to stop people does not hinder the offense's ability to score. They're not. It's a causality. There's a causality here, but that's not what the causality is. Okay, Cousins is 26th in the league of starters only, in passing efficiency. 26. That's bottom tier for someone who's supposed to be a step above mediocre and supposed to be a franchise quarterback. That's freaking horrible. Okay, his passing efficiency in the red zone, 45%. That's his completion percentage. 45%. If you saw the names on the list, you would puke that I saw here. All the stats I got from ESPN, NFL Network, Pro Football Focus. I'm pretty sure that's all 3 of the ones I got them from. If you want to go check these stats out and try to call me a liar, go ahead. His goal to go passing efficiency was 31%. 31% completion. It's 1 out of every 3 throws you're completing. That's bad. That's really bad. Now, some people's like, well, play calling. Well, you still have to execute. Your job is to execute. So you can change the play. Anytime you want, you can change the play. That's part of being a quarterback. You see something in defense, boom, let's run a quick slant right here because they're playing the lob or they're playing the jump ball in the end zone. Okay? What do we see here? Stats. More stats here. We were 29th in drive averages, which basically comes into yards we get, based on our drives, what we get. Do we get the most out of our drives? That's what drive efficiency or drive averages means. How much do we get out of our drives? How much time do we take off the clock? If we had a drive and we had like 2 first downs, we had to punt, and we burn off like 4 minutes, it'd be pretty good. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it's like 2 minutes and 45 seconds, which is not very much. Okay. Oh, there we go. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I did write it down. Okay. Kirk Cousins was second in the league in passing yards. Strictly yards. Good job. It's a personal award. Okay, but you got to translate that into points. He was ranked above Matt Ryan and below Drew Brees. Both of them had 38 touchdowns. If Kirk just gets 5 more, he gets in the 30s, we win a lot of our games because a lot of our games were close this year. Okay, a lot of our games were close, and the reason why I think we lose those games is because offense. We get touchdowns instead of field goals, we win those games. Also, let's see here. We are third in total offense. We are third in total offense. Of the top 8 teams that are in total offense, 6 of them are in the playoffs, except for us and the Saints. Now, I want to throw this out there. That nothing is wrong with putting up a lot of yards. It looks flashy and whatever, but here is what I don't like about it. You can put up all the yards you want, but if you don't get touchdowns and you don't win games, it's pointless. Now, I like Drew Brees. I think he's a great quarterback. He's a great quarterback on a bad team. Do we want to be the Saints the next 10 years? I don't. I want to be the Patriots the next 10 years. I want to be winning. I want to be constantly having 10, 11, 12 wins every year. That's what I want for my team. I don't know about you want for your team, but that's what I want for my team. Okay? Also, my opinion is we underachieved offensively. We scored 396 points. 396. The best scoring offense in the league was the Atlanta Falcons, 540. If we just kind of split the difference between them, we win a lot of our games. A lot of our games we didn't lose by touchdowns. We lost by 3 or 4 points. Okay. The only ones we got really blown out. We got blown out in one. The one we got blown out in was the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we didn't really get blown out of any. Okay. But we tack on 30 more points, balance that out over some of our losses. Those are wins. It's that simple. That's where my point is. I'm not taking away from the fact that he had a good passing year. Congratulations, you had a good passing year, which his numbers passing, by the way, are kind of skewed, and I'll get into that here in a minute. But my point is points. I'll give you an example. When we played the Steelers, the first possession, we took the ball down the field and didn't get in the end zone. We threw a couple bad passes in the red zone. One was almost picked off, not getting into that, and he missed Jay Crowder on an open slant, just threw it in the dirt, and we got 3 points out of it. Next possession, I think we intercepted the ball from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Come down again, 3 points. So now we have 6 points. Okay, if we just scored 2 touchdowns, we'd be up 14-0. Okay, and it's a 2-possession game. Okay, we have 6 points to show for it, and it's a 1-possession game. They can score 1 time and outdo our 2 possessions. That's where our inefficiency comes from. If we're getting 7 out of this, I'd rather have 3 possessions to get a touchdown than 3 possessions to get a field goal out of 2 of them. That's what I would prefer. Okay? Field goals are good because they are points. It's better to have nothing than something. But I'd rather have touchdowns. Okay? Because the very next series, we should have recovered a fumble, but next series we made them punt, and we scored a field goal again. 9 points out of potential 21 points. Okay, that's a 12-point swing. Then our defense can come out. And this is where I think it hindered us. Our defense can then come out because if we're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're not going to come out with the anticipation of running to try to get back in the game because they realize they can't stop us. They have to try to outscore us. They're going to throw passes after pass after passes. We can sit back in our man zones or our zone scheme, bring 4 or 5 guys, pin their ears back, go after Ben Roethlisberger, and we can sit back in the zone. That is why we signed Josh Norman. We signed Josh Norman for the sole purpose of being able to do what Seattle and last year's Carolina team did. To be able to score points, get up early, maybe get 14-7. Even 14-7 seems like you're down by a lot when it comes to the Seahawks. Or 14-0 or 10-0. And the goal was to pin our ears back on defense, come after them, make it so they're throwing, and sit back in the zone. The zone, it takes a little bit more time for a play to develop against the zone. That was what our goal was. That was what the team scheme was about. But our offense underachieved. Our offense was projected to score 31.2 points at the end of the season. 31.2 is what we were supposed to get. Our defense was projected to give up 25.2 a game. By the end of the season, our offense gave up 25.2 Offense scored 25.2. Our defense gave up 24.8. My opinion is that's underachieving on the offense. And is someone really going to blame the defense on that? If you do, then you have no objectivity and you have no real knowledge of football. You're just spitting to the wind because it's the internet and you have something to say. I'm backing all this up with stats. Everyone wants to blame our defense for everything. Our defense was 19th. Okay? And there are 4 teams that were right next to us or below us in the standings when it comes to team defense. We're 19th. The Miami Dolphins were 18th. Okay? The Packers were 20th, I think. 22nd. They're 22nd. Atlanta was like 30th, and I think the Raiders were between Atlanta and Packers. 3 teams in the playoffs that we didn't score as much as. They scored more points than us. And we were 14th in scoring, by the way. They scored more points than us, but they got in the playoffs. Why? Because their offense actually was more efficient. They did better offensively than we did. Our offense was 29th in drive averages. What drive averages is, what do you get out of your drives the most? Everyone and their mother was like, oh, look how many first downs we're getting. Look how many first. Who cares? Who cares? There's an old basketball, I guess, term, or it's like cliche, that I used to coach basketball. I used to coach high school football too. The old cliche was, it's $1 million move with a 10-cent finish. That is the equivalent of the Redskins offense. I don't care if you get 2,000 passing yards this year. I'd rather get 30-plus touchdowns passing the ball and put up 450 points. I'd rather get that than get 4,000 passing yards that don't do anything. That does not equivalent on the scoreboard. And that's what people don't understand. Oh, yeah, you can jerk off all you want. You know why Tim Tebow was so – and I'm sorry to bring up Tim Tebow. You know how Tim Tebow was actually so good? You can say what you want about his numbers. The guy won fucking football games. The guy would win games. That was why Tim Tebow was such a hot commodity. It's because he didn't have the flashiest numbers, but he would put the ball in the end zone. That was the difference between Tim Tebow and Kirk Cousins. Now, that's not a great comparison. I'm sorry, but that's the most extreme comparison I can think of. He didn't have anywhere near the numbers Kirk Cousins has, but he did put the ball in the end zone. That is what matters. Okay? Now, everyone and their mother is going to be like, oh, Tim Tebow had a good defense. He did not have a good defense. Defense was not that good. What changed about that team was strictly that Tim Tebow started. And once he started, the team started doing well. Now, let off that, back to this topic. My biggest issue with Kirk Cousins. My biggest issue with Kirk Cousins is this. I'm going to bring up another name that everyone's going to cringe about, RG3. And I'm not saying we need to go get RG3 back, so don't jump to that conclusion. RG3, when he screwed up, got the most harshest, most brutal criticism I've ever seen of anyone, especially as a Redskin. He got the most brutal criticism I've ever seen from Jay Gruden and from the media. Okay? And he was treated like a damn criminal just because he screwed up on the football field a couple times. Okay? Now, if you want to talk about agendas, or someone's trying to run someone out of town, that's probably part of it. But Kirk Cousins, when he screws up, does not get any criticism. At least not to the level of RG3. Okay? And our team was way better than RG3 ever had. I'm just going to throw it out there. Right? Way better than we ever had. Kirk Cousins has more weapons than anyone else in the league right now. He has 2 solid tight ends in Davis and Reed. Okay? And you throw Niles Paul in there, he's still good, still a pretty good tight end. Okay? And then look at our weapons. Garcon, Jackson, Crowder, Harris, Grant, Ross. I realized Grant and Ross didn't play very much, but they're still good players. They're still pretty good for 5th and 6th options. We didn't play Dobson this year. Offensive line was one of the best pass blocking offensive lines in the league. Now you can say what you want about the running game. We still got 1,700 yards rushing. So your point is a little bit moot there. We still got 1,700 yards rushing. Now maybe we don't have a consistent running back. That I'll give you. But we still didn't do bad when it came to running. Robert Kelly didn't do bad. I actually think we should start Mac Brown next year. That's who I think is actually our best running back. We have these guys in preseason do really well. And a few years ago, Mike Shanahan saw this from Alfred Morris and started him, and it worked out great. For some reason, Jay Gruden doesn't want to do this. He wants to play the big name guy, which I never thought Matt Jones was good anyway. Nick should never got rid of Alfred Morris. Don't want to get into that too much. but we still had a running game. 1,700 yards is still pretty good for running. That's 100 yards a game plus. That's 100 plus yards a game. So your point is a little bit moot if you're going to sit there and say, oh, we didn't have a running game. We did. We had over 100 yards rushing on average. Okay? You're like, oh, our defense was bad. No, defense wasn't that bad. The defense did about what they were projected to do. Okay? The offense was the one that projected underachieved. Okay? Period. We should have been averaging 30 to 32 points a game. Okay? Here's where I would agree with you about our defense is this. If we were averaging 30 to 32 points a game and our defense was giving up 35 or 40, then I would agree with you that our defense was the problem. You look through the game, and no one's going to do this because everyone just has their opinions and no one's going to look. Go look back at a bunch of games, look quarter by quarter. We had a handful of games where our defense would hold teams 6 points in the second half or 3 points and give our offense a chance. The Raven game was a prime example. The Browns game was a prime example. After Kirk Cousins blew a lead in the first half with 2 interceptions, our defense pretty much shut him out the second half. Same thing with the Giants when we played the Giants the last game of the year and the third game of the year. Those things happened. Go look if you don't believe me. So for some reason, for a defense that's supposed to be super bad, which, by the way, I'll throw this out there as well, our defense did lose some key players. Okay, our defense did lose some key players. Junior Gillette, we lost to New Cravens, we lost Angelo Hall first 3 games or something like that. We did lose a handful of key pieces. And I actually think we're going to be better next year because of it, because it got a lot of young guys, got some playing time, and got a chance to show what they can do. And I'm a little excited about that, because we had some games where we played Dallas. I know Dallas beat us pretty bad the second time we played them, but we did give ourselves a good chance. We had some times when they have a good offensive line, we were just getting upfield on them. And we always played the play behind the 8 ball because our offense wasn't scoring. So they had to really, kind of adjust on the fly. And I'm going to say this, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I really felt like Ryan Kerrigan was injured most of the year. Just going to throw it out there. So if our offense was scoring 30 plus a game and our defense was giving up 35 plus a game, you're right when it comes to the defensive argument. But I have proven, and this is my issue, Kirk Cousins is not executing the offense as well as he should. Now I can go to personal examples of how bad he picks his options. He'll come up to the line and predetermine when he's going to throw the football all the time. He does it all the time. Let me give an example of that. There's a lot of times where we'll run the ball on first down, 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8 comes up, and rather than, and this is what he does, and this is why he looks so good. He has good talent around him. Okay, and anyone who has any common sense knows that we do have a good, talented offensive group. Okay, we have good talent on offense. Rather than taking a 3-yard slant and letting the guy run for 3 or 4 more yards, and then getting the 3rd and 2, he likes to take a shot deep. Let's take a shot deep to Deshaun Jackson and overthrow him by 5 yards. How the hell you overthrow Deshaun Jackson by 5 yards is beyond me. But anyway, back to my point. So then he gets the 3rd down and 8, where then he'll throw a 5-yard out and hope the guy runs for first down. Now we have a lot of decent players: Crowder, Gerson, Jackson, Reed. So they actually do save his butt a lot, and that is why our offense looks as good as it does, is because of yak yards. And this is a stat that is glaring to me. He has 41% of his passing yards are yak yards. That is a lot of yards. That's 40% of his yards. Statistically, that's about 40%. So that's over 2,000 yards of yak yards. Over 2,000 yards. Because this guy can't throw the ball way downfield. And I know his numbers say he throws the ball downfield, he gets touchdowns. He also throws the ball downfield and misses guys. I can use the 2nd game of the year as a perfect example. We played Dallas. He overthrew guys 4 times in that game. Deshaun Jackson 3, Crowder once. And then, this is the kicker, and this is one reason why I don't understand why he didn't get as much criticism. We had Josh Dobson, and we ran a play, and everyone followed Deshaun Jackson. Josh Dobson goes right beside the line. He's wide open. There's no one within 20 yards of him. Kirk Cousins underthrows him by 15 yards. Josh Dobson has to stop in his tracks, come back and get it, and because of that, the Dallas Cowboys were able to tackle him. 2 plays later, he throws a pick in the end zone, and then Dallas marches down the field and scores. If he doesn't even throw an interception there, we get a field goal, and we go up 7 points. Potentially, we go up 10 points. Oh, I'm sorry, We go up 7 points, or we could have gone up 11 because we were up 4 at the time. Okay? So that's my issue, is those little things and people just ignore it. That's stupid. It's dumb. I'm sorry. It's extremely stupid. Why you would over... I'm not saying why do you overthrow. It's not like he does it on purpose. Okay? But something's wrong with you as a quarterback when you're overthrowing Deshaun Jackson. Okay? And sometimes you do hit him right in stride. He did it in the Green Bay game. He threw the ball deep with bad weather, and the Lord was on his side. It's the best way I can put that. And he ended up putting the guy's breadbasket, and he ended up scoring. Okay? But he doesn't do that on a consistent basis. And what he needs to do is it's a West Coast offense. It's a West Coast style offense. He needs to be hitting the guy on the 5-yard out on second down. Okay? So the guy can run for a first down or run and get more yards, and then we have like a 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. It makes the playbook look a lot easier when you can do that. He doesn't do that. He'll take the dumb shot deep, okay, and then he'll rely on his athletes to get stuff done on 3rd down, which I think is our problem. That's what I thought the problem was this year. You never go broke taking a profit. Take the 5-yard out. If we have a 5-yard out every play and you're able to catch it and get out of bounds, we're going to move the football. It's going to happen. I mean, there's nothing. If you can't stop it, why not keep doing it? So, again, don't think the defense was a problem. They had a lot of injuries. They were still ranked 19th, which is like middle of the pack in the NFL. They actually were number 1 in drive averages, where they give up the least amount of stuff based on how many drives they had. They had the least amount of drives against them this year. And based on that, they ended up getting teams teams got less out of their drives against the Redskins than the other team. We had the least amount of drives in the league this year against our defense. It's like 169. That's the least amount of any other team. Okay? Okay, they were ranked above 3 playoff teams. One's in the damn Super Bowl right now, where defense was ranked above that one. Okay, but their offense played good. Our offense didn't. Okay? The offense is not a good red zone efficiency offense. Kirk Cousins is a red zone efficiency quarterback. The best way I can describe Kirk Cousins in the offense of the Redskins is if you watch college football, the Oregon Ducks were very good between 20 and 20. Okay? Or like whatever, the 20-yard line. If you got the ball around like the 20-yard line and you're like 20 yards from the end zone, okay? They were not a very good offense. All the spreading out, all the stretching on the field was negated, and your windows got smaller, and they were not very efficient. That is the equivalent of this offense. Okay? That is equivalent to Kirk Cousins. And if you compare his numbers, and you go to ProFootballFocus.com and compare his red zone numbers to other quarterbacks, it is very staggering. Ryan Fitzpatrick did better than him. Ryan Fitzpatrick has 6 interceptions in the red zone, and his efficiency rating is lower than Kirk Cousins, or is higher than Kirk Cousins in the red zone. That's how bad Kirk Cousins has been this year in the red zone. Goal to go is just as bad, 31%. Okay? You can get all the yards you want. Yards do not accumulate on a scoreboard. That is my point. And everyone uses that as the crutch for why he's an elite quarterback. That's not why he's an elite quarterback. Why you're an elite quarterback is, first off, your team wins and you put points on the board. Okay? If you're putting up a lot of points, for example, I'll give a perfect example of this. The Saints are a team that puts up a lot of points. Their defense gives up a lot more points. Okay? That is a team that has legit claim that their defense is the reason why they suck. They don't suck because of Drew Brees. Drew Brees puts up 38 touchdowns. He puts up 38 touchdowns and 30-plus touchdowns and 5,000 yards almost every year. Almost every freaking year he does that. And they're not in the playoffs. Why? Because they don't have a defense. That makes sense. Our defense is putting up our offense is putting up 25 touchdowns. And our defense only got 24 points a game. And we have an elite offense. What's the problem here? It's the offense. It's the execution of the offense. That is my point. I'm going to go ahead and just mention coaching. Coaching, I don't think we run as many draws as we should, run as many screens. Too many times there were fades ran in the end zone. When last year we did very well in the red zone because we ran like quick slants and just put the ball in the money, let the guy catch it, take a hit. Reed and Garcon were very good at that last year. That's why we were more successful in the red zone. For some reason, got away from that. Now, that's coaching, yet it is still Kirk Cousins' job to execute. He doesn't have to throw that pass. He can change the play. Okay? He can say, the defense is expecting that. We'll run a quick slant. You can do that. You're the quarterback. You have that right. You have that leverage. But he doesn't do those things. Okay, now whether you're just saying he's a robot and he's just doing what Jay Gruden says, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think it's a lot of his decisions are predetermined. That's one of my main issues with him. And my only issue with it really is he should get more scrutiny than he gets. That's one of my biggest points. He doesn't get enough scrutiny for the mistakes he makes. Do I think we need to get rid of the guy? If he's going to stay around for $18 million a year, I say sign him for a long term. But if he's going to want $24 million, no, we're not going to. We can't strap our team for $25 million or $24 million a year for a quarterback to step above mediocre. Okay, numbers are deceiving. It's fool's gold. It's the best way I can describe it. It's fool's gold. If he puts up, I'd rather him put up 2,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. Okay, and here's something glaring. Tom Brady has more touchdown passes than he does this year, and Tom Brady played 4 less games. Okay, for a quarterback who has that many yards to have that many touchdowns, you should be having more touchdowns. That is my point. Get the ball in the end zone. You should be scrutinized for your inability to get the ball in the end zone. You're the captain of the offense. You're the leader of the team. You have to get that done. That's my point. My name is JD. This is Disgruntled Redskins Part 2. If you have something to say that's intelligent, message me. You're going to insult me, I'm not going to bother with you because you're stupid. See ya.